And gentlemen, good morning and welcome to our fifth OBFit webinar on this Friday, the 24th of March. And my good wishes come to you from the United Arab Emirates, specifically from the RAC Hospital in Ras Al Khaimah. As you are aware, we are in the midst of our weight loss challenge, in which we have 10,000 participants. And every week we make available valuable information so that our participants can take charge of their own weight loss with the support of health professionals. Now, this is our fifth webinar, and we have a unique proposition. We have a speaker who is both a physician, a medical professional, and ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry if you didn't hear that introduction. May I ask if that introduction was conveyed to the audience, or do I repeat? My colleagues sitting at the back tell me that the first part of my introduction was audible to you. It was unfortunately not audible to me, and my apologies for that. We have a unique proposition today. We have a speaker, as I mentioned, who is a physician, a medical professional, and a health professional. And as a consequence, we have taken advantage of that and requested our speaker to talk about holistic medicine. Dr. Wilkhoo, our eminent speaker, will be talking about holistic medicine. And my reading informs me that in this instance, we would not only be talking about the specificities of obesity in terms of diet, in terms of exercise, in terms of psychotherapy, in terms of counseling, but we would tap into his deep knowledge of alternative therapies. You're talking homeopathy, you're talking naturopathy, you're talking Ayurveda, you're talking yoga therapy, you're talking acupuncture. Dr. Wilkhoo is eminently knowledgeable in these areas, and I'm hopeful that he will present some alternatives to the allopathic tradition. Now, when I was reading up on our subject today, I chanced upon an interesting line which said that holistic medicine is virtually the opposite of allopathy, in the sense that it deals with natural remedies and ancient philosophies that go beyond the realm of medication and surgery, but also includes those aspects. And therefore, I say we are fortunate to have with us today a physician, an alternative medical practitioner, and a health professional. To be a little precise, Dr. Wilkhoo is a certified lifestyle medicine specialist. He's certified from the United States, and he is also a certified corporate wellness specialist. In addition, he has spent over 23 years of clinical practice in homeopathy. He has dealt with more than 65,000 individual clients at the rate of almost 50 to 100 clients per day in his corporate practice. He has conducted across countries like India and the UAE, over 2,600 health talks in subjects that include cardiac care, diabetes management, dependencies management, occupational health, chronic disease, so on and so forth. He has spent his early years working with the Apollo hospitals, which, as we all know, is perhaps the largest chain of hospitals in Asia. And he is currently with us over here at the RAC Hospital, specifically with the Arabian Wellness. In 2019, Dr. Wilkhoo was selected in the international category as the Corporate Wellness Professional of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all seen Dr. Wilkhoo often enough when he asks the questions to our various panelists, which over the last 2 years, we've conducted more than 50 seminars, and he has probably asked more than 500 to 1,000 questions. Today, Dr. Wilkhoo is the speaker, and it will be my great privilege to ask him those questions. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Wilkhoo.
Thank you, Professor, for wonderful words, kind words. Am I audible?
Yes, Dr. W, you are audible.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. I will share my slide. Hello, friends. It's very nice to know you are concerned about your health. That's the reason you have participated in Weight Loss Challenge. Before we go forward, let's understand why we are talking about obesity. WHO has included obesity in the list of chronic diseases. Why? What the reason? The reason is obesity versus medical risk factors. 40% of the overweight, obesity gives a diabetic burden. 23% gives a chronic heart disease. 7 to 41% of certain cancers. This is the burden which you are getting from obesity, the fat in your body. So when we talk about who is the risk, what is the obesity and what is the risk? If we talk about basically two areas of fat deposition. One is subcutaneous and second is the visceral fat. When you have both the fats, subcutaneous as well as the visceral fat in limit, you are at the lower risk, even if you are overweight. But if you have more of subcutaneous fat and less of visceral fat, then you are at the moderate risk. But when your visceral fat becomes more than the subcutaneous, you are at high risk. That makes the bigger problem. Now, there is a big question. Many times people used to say, is overweight the same as obesity? For just clearing a doubt, people with BMI between 25 to 29.9 are overweight, whereas people more than 30 BMI are obese. It doesn't mean that overweight is good. Overweight is still a problem. Overweight may be due to heavy bone structure or heavy muscle mass, like the bodybuilders. But people who are having a lot of fat are known to be obese. They have comorbid conditions, the cardiometabolic conditions and syndromes. Now, what overweight does and what obese does? Overweight basically impacts the skeletal system with an extra load on the joint, leading to degenerative erosion like osteoarthritis or even if it goes more, then it become for a knee replacement or a joint replacement, whatever the case may be. But obesity is a various complex metabolic syndrome. Obesity leads to type 2 diabetes, hyperlipidemia, high blood pressure, chronic heart diseases, stroke, fatty liver, and gallbladder diseases. In fact, it includes certain cancers also. Immediate impact of the obesity is sleep apnea. What is sleep apnea? People who are obese, grossly obese, means the BMI is more than 30 or 35, then they might be having a breathing difficulty while lying down. So they have to keep their head elevated to breathe properly. Why we are talking about this? Because if we lose 5 to 10% of the weight, is the good result, and the cardiometabolic burden, what we mentioned earlier, is reduced. Now, who is at the risk? What are the risk groups? First, it can be divided into three major risk factors. One is the non-modifiable. What is non-modifiable? Which we cannot change, like the family history. 30 to 70% of family history of obesity leads to obesity. And this 30 to 70% carry a gene, the 50 number of genes for the polymorphism, means which leads to adipose tissue accumulation and obesity. Then the age, gender, race. These are the things which we can't change. We inherit from the parents. Second comes the medical factors. The medical factors, where the metabolic and hormonal influences are hampering, like PCOD, thyromegaly, the fatty liver, hyperlipidemia, and certain medications like anti-diabetic medications, corticosteroids. These are increasing the risk factor of obesity. Third comes the modifiable, which is in our control. What is that? Definitely, we can reduce these by lifestyle modification. The insulin resistance. People who are obese, they have high insulin resistance. That's the reason they are getting obese. They are getting high sugar levels. They are having a cardiometabolic syndrome. Insulin resistance, sedentary lifestyle, chronic stress, alcohol, tobacco, faulty diet, commercial food, which increases the calorie consumption. So when we talk about the weight loss management, whatever we are going to discuss today, it's all connected. Like earlier, the speakers have also mentioned about clinical aspect, exercise aspect, diet aspect, even the alternative medicine aspect when we are talking about that. So what we are connecting the science behind obesity and how it is happening. It all connects with your insulin resistance. So weight loss program is not a quick fix. It takes time and consistency in your plan. We strictly include the three basic factors like behavior management. What is behavior management? Until unless you wish to control it. And if you wish to control it, you have to consistently be stable on it. Then the nutrition, proper nutrition. We'll talk about the nutrition later in the later slides, but proper nutrition and consistent physical activity. It's not once in a blue moon you are doing some activity, going for a diet plan. You have to consistently follow your program. With any factors missing out of these three, you will not get a good result for a long term. Short-term weight loss is difficult to manage post weight loss. Means, like in the challenge, many people used to reduce weight during a challenge. That's very good. They have worked hard, but they leave after that, and immediately they start bounding up their weight. So it's difficult for maintaining your weight after your weight loss. The intervention protocols, it's all over world now. So American made a certain protocols which American lifestyle medicine is following up with. Every chronic disease has to work on obesity management. So these we will be talking about in different parameters. So let's discuss about obesity management. We need to understand the ways of assessment, the calories, how our metabolism works, basics of nutrition, different formats of diet, and what are the medical and non-medical interventions for a weight loss. There are different ways of obesity assessment. Very common and very rapid assessment if you want to know whether you are overweight or whether you are obese. So height and weight range, which is measured in the feet, and then it gives you a minimum range and maximum range of your healthy weight. 20 kgs up to 20 kgs above your maximum weight is an overweight. I'm just grossly telling you. Above that makes you obese. This is a rapid test when we rapid assessment when we do for clinical assessment. But when we are talking about cardiometabolic syndrome and when we are talking uh, strictly for reducing the weight, reducing the obesity to control the comorbid condition, then we use body mass index. Then comes body fat measurement. That is, people know when you are going for some nutrition clinic and other clinics like that, and they are giving a body fat analysis. That analyze the distribution of the fat in the body, which part the more fat is there, and what is bad fat, what is good fat, according to the location. Then waist to height ratio and the waist circumference. This is very useful in assessing the cardiometabolic risk. Then comes certain lab tests like lipid profile, thyroid profile, glycated hemoglobin, what you call HbA1c, liver function test, urine analysis. This helps to understand the hidden risk factor of the chronic disease, whether it is existing, whether it is probably upcoming. Then comes calories in the metabolism. For simple understanding, I don't want to go complicate more into scientific things, but basic understanding. What we eat is converted to energy. That depends on the food we eat. That depends on the activity we do. That makes the calorie balance. The rise of glucose level is countered by insulin, which balances the calorie. Whatever you eat, it is converted to energy, the calorie, and that is glucose. The energy unit is glucose. It is taken to the target cell and consumed. That is done by insulin. When there is imbalance, the problem starts. Now, metabolism influences adipose tissue, the fat tissue, what we are talking about today, about the obesity, which releases a hormone, adipokine. Adipokines are certain hormones which balances the fat, where it should be distributed, where it should be stored, when it should be used for further use. So adipokines are the main hormones which are released by adipose tissue during metabolism. When we do a weight loss, adipokines are reduced and it increases the adiponectin and leptin. Leptin increases, these are the hormones, it increases the metabolism and reduces the hunger. Food we eat like fat and carbs are burnt as oxidation. If we reduce 30% of the calories from fat and retain the carbs, it will help to reduce overall calories. But if we reduce 30% of the calories from the carbohydrate, then it will burn stored fat also because your body requires calories. And if you are deficitating the calorie intake by carbohydrate, the other source will be converted. The stored fat which is there in the body will be converted into the energy for a use. For an example, Suppose we take 2,500 calories per day. Fair enough. Everyone in their habit, they used to consume throughout the day around 2,500 calories. But do you know, even you don't do any physical activity, your body requires 1,200 calories to run the system. Your heart is functioning, your lungs are functioning, blood circulation is happening, muscles are moving, your brain is very active. Everything requires energy to function. And that is 1,200 calories to run the system. But suppose if you are eating 2,500 calories, 1,200 calories are you consumed by the body, and daily routine work, I'm not talking about any exercise. Daily routine work will consume approximately 600 calories. That means still 700 calories are left out. This left out calorie will be converted into fat for further use. This is increasing the weight. The similar way, if you add some activity, physical activity, some exercise, regular exercise, approximately 700 calories will be burnt out. Depending on the type of exercise you are doing. I'm just taking the average of that. Then the calorie intake and calorie expenditure are balanced. So you are maintaining your weight. I'm not saying you are losing your weight. You are maintaining your weight. Now, what should be the goal? Now, we need to understand why we want to lose the weight. Whether we are overweight, whether we are obese, whether we have some comorbid condition, whether we are suffering from any chronic disease, whether we are on medication, what type of medication. Making a quick fix, immediate weight loss will not give you a good result. For a momentary, you will be very happy that you have lost so many kilos. It may be as a challenge, that's very good. But for your own good health, you have to maintain your weight. So the goal should be a long-term goal. The first pillar for this weight management is the diet. The dietary management includes the knowledge about the nutrients and supplements, the diet and calories, and rules of nutrition. How we do. The first thing when we talk about the supplements and nutrients. So when we are talking about the supplements, we are talking basically about the vitamins and minerals. See, everything what we eat has some benefit. X, Y, Z, whatever you eat, whether it is rice, chapati, biryani, fruit, chicken, red meat, anything, whatever edible food you eat has something in it. But when we are talking about obesity management, we should be looking around what is good and what is beneficial for our weight loss, and not only for the weight loss, to maintain the weight and to fight the comorbid condition, to manage the comorbid conditions. So what we are talking about the supplements. There are few vitamins which will be very useful, like vitamin E, B3, B6, B12, vitamin C. So vitamin E is an important vitamin which has plenty of antioxidants, helps to repair and prevent the cell degeneration. What cell degeneration we are talking, basically targeting about? We are talking about the alpha and beta cells of pancreas, which are making insulin and glucagon, which is basically the backbone of metabolism. So this is very required. Where you will find vitamin E in more? Soybean, sesame seeds, cotton seeds, corns. These are good sources of vitamin E. Then comes vitamin B3. It's very good for beta cell function for the pancreas. So this is responsible for insulin production. Means if we have healthy beta cells of pancreas, if we have a healthy production of insulin, when we eat, the glucose level spikes up, insulin is released, and insulin takes care of that extra burden of the spike. And it takes to the target for use. Helps to manage the lipid and protein metabolism also. Where you will get vitamin B3 more, red meat, fish, banana, fortified cereal are the good source. Then comes vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 helps in blood formation. Why we are talking about blood formation? Again, when we are having a good hemoglobin level, then oxygenation of the blood is more good. If we are anemic, then there will be lot of problems coming around in the metabolism because you have less oxygen and then the metabolism will be affected. It helps in neurotransmission. Regulates serotonin. What is serotonin? These are the hormones released by the brain. This suppresses the hunger, whereas dopamine increases the hunger. That's why it regulates the neurotransmission, regulates serotonin and dopamine to balance the hunger and also reduce the stress. What are the good source of B6? Chicken, fish, peanuts, soybean, banana. These are the good source of vitamin B6. Then comes vitamin B12. Again, this also helps in blood formation, prevents anemia. From where you will get? You will get from organ meat, red meat, fish, especially the fish like sardines, tuna, trout, also fortified cereals. These are the good source for vitamin B12. Then comes vitamin C. This helps in the cell growth and repair. We are having a cell growth. Every minute we are having a new production of cells and they are dying with their age. Vitamin C helps in the cell formation, cell growth also, and repairs the damage also, which helps regular ion exchange. Ion exchange is very important for homeostasis of the calorie balance and metabolism balance. From where you will get vitamin C? You'll get it from oranges, strawberry, blackcurrant, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, peppers. These are the good source for vitamin C. Now, why we are emphasizing on these things? We eat everything. We eat lot of food, fast food, restaurant foods. We skip a good nutritious meal. But you should be considering these as a part of your daily diet. Then comes the minerals. Minerals are very important. There are a lot of minerals we use. But here, when we are talking about obesity and insulin resistance, because whenever we eat, glucose is as an energy is utilized by insulin. If insulin is not accepted by the target cell, your glucose will not be utilized. It will remain in your blood. The sugar level will go up. The unutilized sugars, glucose will be converted to fat for further use. Whether you are using it or not, it is a different matter, but it will be stored as a fat. So mineral play an important role for metabolism. First mineral, what we consider when most important is the magnesium. It helps in metabolism. It boosts the metabolism. Also helps in neurotransmission. It is anti-inflammatory. Remember, in previous slides, I was talking about subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. Subcutaneous fat is fat, which is the fat deposited just below your skin, which makes you fat. You can palpate. But the visceral fat, which is deep inside, it is accumulated inside the viscera, the organs. This fat is generally swollen up fat. So magnesium is anti-inflammatory. It reduces the swelling properties. It also regulates the mood. If you are in a good mood, you will be having a good nutritious diet. You will be having a good control in your diet. Depressed people tend to eat more. From where you will get magnesium more? Pumpkin seeds, almonds, peanuts, black beans, avocado, kidney beans, fresh yogurt, broccoli, wheat germ. These are the very good sources for magnesium. Then comes chromium. This is very important because it promotes insulin action and insulin sensitivity. Just now I was mentioning about insulin resistance. If your body is resistant to receive insulin, which is carrying the glucose molecule, it will not be utilized. The glucose will not be utilized. So chromium increases the sensitivity so that as soon as the insulin reaches the target cell, it is absorbed immediately and consumed. Protein food like lean meat, poultry, eggs, seafood, beans, lentils, nuts and seeds, these are good source for the chromium. Then comes a very powerful part, the enzymes, which are the key role for the metabolism. Enzymes like glucokinase, carnitine, biotin are responsible to regulate insulin production and insulin absorption pathway. In chromium, what we were talking, it increases the sensitivity of insulin reception. Now, these enzymes help in insulin absorption. Egg yolks, nuts and seeds, liver, mushrooms, especially the button mushroom, broccoli, banana. These are very good source for enzymes. Then the polyphenol, which has a strong antioxidant property, which helps to regulate metabolism. It counters the free radicals to move around and create problems. But what problems I'm talking? The free radicals are controlled to reduce the toxicity in the blood. Green leafy vegetables and fruits are good source for polyphenols. Then again, the next important enzymes. I earlier also I spoke about the leptin, the adipokines. Leptin and ghrelin, these are two hormones which basically is controlling your hunger and energy expenditure. Leptin regulates your fat metabolism, regulates your hunger and energy expenditure. Then comes the cortisol, neuropeptides. Cortisols are the natural steroids, which is required by the body for various functions. Neuropeptide regulates stress, influences the fat metabolism. Berries, neutral oils, leafy vegetables, legumes, green salads are very good source for this enzymes, leptin, ghrelin, cortisol, and neuropeptide. Then we spoke about the nutrients. Now we spoke about diet and calories. When we are talking about the obesity management, we should be knowing to have a balanced diet to control the calories. So we need to manage our calorie intake and should follow the balanced diet. A balanced diet should be hypoglycemic to beat the sudden spike of the glucose. And the best diet preferred is the Mediterranean diet. We will talk about various diet formats. So there are various formats for the diet. Atkins diet, zone diet, GM diet, Mediterranean diet. These are the original popular diets when we started about talking about obesity management. Now you will find hundreds of diet plans for weight loss, but medically proved and used in the base. These are the base of whatever further diet plans formats are being made. These are the base for that. Atkins diet. This is a 14 days diet plan, which tends to lose 5 kgs of weight. In 1960, a cardiologist, Dr. Robert Atkins, he designed this diet. This diet mainly considers restricting the carbohydrate less than 20 to 40 grams per day, that to a complex carb for 14 days. No refined sugars, no simple sugars, no white rice, no refined flour is advised. And whenever you are having carbohydrate, it should be less than 20 to 40 grams per day according to your activity, and preferably the complex carbohydrate. You can get complex carbohydrate from fruits and vegetables also. Free protein, fat, and the calorie source from protein and fat is advised. There is no issue with that. But after 14 days, this will result you to lose around 5 kgs in 14 days without doing any extensive physical exercise, because you are giving time to your body, the metabolism, to reset in a different manner. After 14 days, you will require calorie. So your calorie that time can be compensated by protein and fat, but that too not more than, it should not be more than 40 to 50% of the normal diet. Then came the zone diet. Zone diet was designed by Barry Sears. He was a biochemist. He was studying about the glucose level and balance of insulin mechanism. So according to zone diet, there is a rise of glucose level whenever we eat. And with the rise of glucose level, there is a rise in insulin. Subsequently, if your system is healthy, whatever glucose you have consumed, means it has been manufactured at the end product, is utilized by the body, lowering the glucose level, again resulting in hunger. This is known as insulin feedback mechanism. The general meal portion ratio in comparison to other formats is 40% of the carbohydrate, 30% fat, 30% of protein. And this avoids cereals, rice, potatoes, pasta, noodles, bread, chips. What is allowed? More of fruits, more of raw vegetables, poultry, fish, cheese, virgin oils like olive oil. This was the most popular diet in that time, the GM diet. GM diet was created by General Motors for their employees to help improve their health and improve the productivity of the company. The simplicity of this diet plan was very acceptable during that time. On day 1, only fruits. Day 2, only vegetables. Day 3, mixture of fruits and vegetables. Vegetables should be raw, not cooked. Then day 4, banana with milk. You can have a milkshake with that. And day 5, lean meat. For the vegetarian people, you can have a veg protein instead of meat. Then day 6, meat and vegetables. The protein, the vegetarian can have the vegetarian protein. Then day 7, grains, vegetables, fruits, the whole grain. This is 5-day plan, and which gives you 7 kgs of weight loss. Actually, the whole metabolism is tempered. Again, reset, reset, reset. Because your body is trying to reset in a one pattern. Suddenly, the third day, it reset of the metabolism comes after third day. So there is again and again there is a reset. This gives a faster weight loss, but still is not very beneficial because it contains high fiber and less protein. And due to high fiber, the vital nutrients are missing. It slows down the metabolism. After 10 or 15 days, the metabolism will reduce and it will produce dehydration. That's why it is only used for 5 days. This was the base for many other formats now popular diet, military diet or other diet. They are using it. Even the keto diet was influenced from Atkins. Now, the best popular diet approved by medical science, and they always design this Mediterranean diet. Most effective to lose and maintain the lost weight. It includes balanced portion of complex carbs, fresh fruits, vegetables, and simple reasoning for avoid simple added sugar. Mediterranean diet is very good for health, good for heart, good for brain. It also includes daily physical activity. Now, when we are talking about the intervention, we spoke about the metabolism, we spoke about the diet, nutrients, and other things. We spoke about the diet formats. Now we are talking about the intervention. Basically, the weight management program has three aspects of intervention. One, you are overweight, means maximum of 20 kgs more than your maximum limit. You don't have any comorbid conditions, means you don't have any chronic diseases. Then you should only consider exercise therapy with the Mediterranean diet, because we have already said Mediterranean diet is a balanced diet. In exercise therapy, stamina, strength, stretching, fixing to a fit formula, we will talk about later on, and the programs. The second comes the drug therapy, where drug is introduced, the medicines are introduced. When we require the drug intervention, when BMI is more than 30, when your weight is more than 20% of the maximum weight, when you have coexisting of medical conditions, then drug therapy comes. What are the drug therapy used? Basically, the fat burners. Reduction of the food intake means suppressing the hunger, increasing the burnout. But this is not also very good because it reduces the absorption of. Now, third comes the surgical. When your BMI is above 40, your weight is more than 50% of the maximum weight. When you have comorbid conditions, then surgical intervention are suggested, advised, like bariatric surgery, liposuction, gastric balloons doing. But this also has a limitation, because when we talk about anything surgical intervention, that means you are cutting out the fat, not just mentioning it. Cutting out fat in the liposuction or other surgery. Bariatric surgery is you are reducing the size of the intake pouch, the stomach and the intestines, where the food is going inside. But this will give you a good result, but you have to maintain it. It's very difficult. If you come back to the normal, say, okay, I have lost my weight. Now there is my stomach is smaller in size. Whatever I want, I can do. No, you will again gain weight, because if you are eating lot, that shrink, the resized stomach will start stretching up. Again, you will be having overweight. So it's again a problem. Now we come about the alternative medicine, the holistic medicine. Being a homeopath, I'll be talking about the homeopathy and the role of homeopathy in the obesity. As you know, homeopathy is a holistic medicine science founded more than 200 years back by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. He was one of the leading physicians of his time. And homeopathy works very safe because it uses the natural resources. There are no side effects. It is individualized and totality of symptoms, because it is treating the system, treating the sick, not the disease. According to WHO, homeopathy is the second largest medicinal system globally. So when we talk about homeopathy intervention for weight loss or obesity, basically we divide the categories into two: the constitutional part and the metabolic part. Simply what I spoke about, the drugs like fat burners or increasing the insulin sensitivity, suppressing your hunger, and reducing the absorption of the food what you eat. That is the conventional medicine, what they are doing. So similar way, holistic medicine of homeopathy also does. But we categorize into two parts: constitutional part. Constitutional means the body buildup, like your bony structure, your blood type, your elemental composition. Your body is composed of what elements. And when constitution is stiff, then it becomes difficult to lose weight or to maintain the lost weight. You might be hearing, it's very difficult for me to lose weight, but I can gain weight very fast. There are people saying like that. I'll give you one example. I just spoke about the blood type. B positive people are prone to gain weight faster than other people. So this is very common. This is your type, your constitution, which you cannot change. In the initial first two slides, we have spoken about the risk factors, the family history. You cannot change it. So if you are having that constitutional part, so during the treatment of obesity, we are considering the constitutional part also. First medicine, the common medicine is the calcarea carb. The person is flabby in the appearance, have profuse sweating, appearance is pale, means the person is prone to anemic or is anemic. Generally, children fit into this category. Then comes pyramid, young girls who are recently starting menses and they have anemia and they are also pale. They are very lethargic. They tend to get weight faster. Then comes amon mure. By tendency, the lethargic person is very lethargic and has a disposition of fat accumulation on the lower body, means buttocks, lower belly. What we used to call tires, the fat tires. Then comes antim groove. This is basically for the children who have tendency to grow fat and they have very sluggish digestion. And whatever they eat, they don't assimilate. The bloating is there and absorption is very slow. Then comes gastritis. This is a female specific remedy where there is hormonal disturbance, irregular menses, habitual constipation. These people get benefit of gastritis. Then comes phosphorus. Imbalance in the growth hormone. Person is anemic and there is a growth spurt, means they grow very faster. This is phosphorus. But mind it, this is not a straight medicine that you can get in the counter and use it for weight reduction. These are the constitutional medicine which your homeopath assess what medicine is best for you to give. Then comes metabolic, like what the conventional medicine does. Metabolic medicine means the physiology of the system. When the system is sluggish, your metabolism is weak, which can be improved by homeopathy. The first popular medicine for this is Fucus West. The person has thyroid problem, has a sluggish and non-toxic thyroid problem, whether it is hypo or hyperthyroidism. Then comes Phytolacca, which is very commonly sold on the counter as a Phytolacca berry. The person has a glandular disposition. Glandular disposition means the glands which produces the hormones are very inflamed or swelled up or hypertrophy. The person is very fatigued on slightest exertion, has palpitations. Then comes thyroidinum. The name, in fact, indicates what it is for. Thyroidinum works very wonderfully for grossly obese people. Means the people who have more than 35 BMI. It's very wonderful result. Thyroidinum is given and has very sluggish and slow thyroid. Then comes lycopodium. Like I said, whatever you eat is digested, broken down, and converted to glucose molecule, which is actually the form of the energy. It is giving the energy. Digestion is master gland for digestion is the liver. When you have a sluggish liver, when you have improper digestion, lycopodium works wonderfully. Then comes Ignatia. Now, Ignatia is very wonderful medicine for people, those who have high stress. Means there is imbalance of endorphins. resulting in depression, mood swings, and overeating. One second. So I think I'm running short on time, so I will just pass. Okay. So this was the medicine I was talking. I've skipped other medicines like naturopathy, like home remedies is also there. So when we talk about home remedies, so there are many medicines like you are having garlic, where you are having carom seeds, when you are having curcumin seeds. Uh, every thing what we eat, I already told, that has active ingredient which works on it. Whatever we are suggesting in this is basically improving the sensitivity of insulin. We are working on insulin resistance. We are reducing the insulin resistance, increasing the insulin sensitivity. Then comes the exercise and fitness, where the component stamina, strength, stretching is required. We must follow a formula of FIT, frequency, intensity, time, and time. Now, exercise being the second important tool for weight loss. This gives best result in first week, first 6 weeks, if you are doing a proper exercise using all the components. But the component when you are using, the stamina should be 50% of your exercise program, then 30%, then 20%. And this ratio should be maintained. Then later on, you should maintain 3 to 5 days of cardio and 1 to 2 days of strengthening exercise. The second important exercise rule is the FIT formula, means you exercise consistently with same intensity, time, and type of exercise you are doing. So when we talk about core exercises, a simple set of exercise you should be doing, whether it is a weight loss current when you are wanting to lose your weight or you are wanting to manage your lost weight. The core exercises, it should start from warm up, stretching of your all joints so that it becomes flexible to start with. Then minimum of 15 to 20 minutes. Initially, it should not be less than 30 minutes of cardio exercise, which may have 15 to 20 minutes of treadmill, jumping jacks, or short running, then push-ups. These are the cardio exercises, what you should be doing. Then strength exercises should be coming, squat and explosive lunges. So this will help you. This squats and lunges, explosive lunges will also give you benefit of stamina, also give you for strength. Then comes for general uh, impression that you have to strengthen your belly muscle because your belly is protruding more, it's more out. So people used to work for reducing the belly. So this set of workout for working on your belly muscles is very important. In routine, when we are talking about the cardio exercise, then this, then at the end, you should be doing workout for your belly, the mountain climbers. Then windshield wipers means lying down and you're folding with the folding legs, you are moving your knees on both sides. Then glute bridge, lying down, you're lifting your back and making a bridge angle. Then scissor kick. On lying down, you're raising both the legs and you using as a Caesar is running. So if you follow this set, this slide every day for weight loss, now if you are doing a weight loss, your cardio should be, the stamina exercise should be more than 50%, and then rest should be 30-20. This will give you a good result. Then later on, you should fix for this and 3 days to 4 days for or cardio and the muscle core exercises for the belly for 1 or 2 days in a week. So I will just, whatever we discussed, I will just wind up running short on time. So whatever we discussed, this is a takeaway message. Dieting is good, but not in crash basis. People used to follow military diet, keto diet, and other things also there. But you must take a clearance from your medical doctor, must have an assessment. You must know whether you have any hidden or existing comorbid condition, whether you are taking any medication. According to that, you should plan your weight management program. Then the calorie what you are taking should not be more than 1500 calories. Initially, what we said, average person, an adult average person takes around 2500 calories per day, starting from morning getting up, going to bed. But if you are working on a weight management program, it should not cross more than 1500 calories. And it should not be below 1000 calories also. Because if you remember, I mentioned your system requires 1200 calories to run the functions of your system. The calorie intake should always be less than the calories expenditure. Means if you are exercising hard, taking less of that, above 1000 calories will help you good, will help you to maintain your goal for a longer period. Exercise lightly at least once or twice every day for maintaining. Weight measurement, it should be always done once in a week and on a specific time. It should not be once you are taking a weight in the morning and when you are taking, sometimes you are taking weight on the evening. There is a diurnal difference in the weight throughout the day. All meals you should be taking in limit with balanced nutrition, including your breakfast. People think skipping breakfast is very good and we can reduce weight. It's nothing like that. 7 point, avoid simple sugars, soft drinks, fruit juices, cake. Avoid animal fats such as red meat. Avoid dairy products, including cream, butter, cheese. Avoid deep fried food and oily food. Now we love to eat French fries, but French fries, I'm not talking about the deep fried only. I'm talking about the trans fat which gives the taste. The chicken, KFC, deep fried chicken, and other chicken brands. To give a taste, the trans fat is used. So trans fat should be avoided. The best way is avoid the deep fried food. Eat lot of complex carbohydrates like whole wheat bread, potatoes. Potatoes should be baked. That is the preferred way, or boiled, not fried. Brown rice, chapatis, hummus. Then eat lot of green vegetables, raw vegetables, and fruits for roughage. Maintain your meal timing. Why this is very important? Because you have a physiological clock in your body. Breakfast, you will start feeling, if you skip for half an hour, you will start feeling hungry. That is indicating that you are requiring an energy. You need a calorie to run the system. Lunch, dinner. Half an hour before of your regular timing, you will start feeling hungry because that time the gastric juices are on the spike because they prepare themselves to receive the food you eat and digest it properly. And if you skip for a time, that gastric juice will not stop. It will keep on producing. If they didn't get anything to digest, they will start digesting your intima, means inner lining of the organs, the stomach. You have hyperacidity, you have gastric ulcer, a lot of other problems are there. So maintain the meal timing. Then last point comes, always used to have light dinner, medium lunch, but have a heavy breakfast. If you are a physical worker means you are physically active. If you are office executive, still you have the same format, but the quantity of the food should be reduced. So that's what, now what you are waiting for. This is the time to act, not only for reducing the weight, but to prevent and manage the chronic health conditions. Maybe you are not having now, maybe you are already having. This is the right way to manage it. Thank you so much. Professor, over to you.
Yes, and thank you, Dr. Wilkhoo. I've received many questions, some of which deal with diet and uh, exercise, which I think I will leave out of this session because we've had a diet session prior to this. We've had an exercise session prior to this. And in case our audience reviews our various videos on our website, they will get the answer to these questions. But there are several questions that are directly relevant to our discussion today. Now, and I'll ask your opinion on these, Dr. Wilkhoo, because that has been asked for by the audience. You've spoken eloquently about vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. And then you have indicated the various foods in which these are available. So the question to ask is, multivitamins, multiminerals, and enzymes are also available comfortably in a pharmacy for specific medication, for specific vitamins A, C, E, etc., and specific minerals, iron, and so on. Now, what are your thoughts on a balanced diet on the one hand and a supplementing of diet with vitamins and minerals from a pharmacy? Your thoughts would be very helpful, Doctor.
Sir, this is a very good question. Generally, people think, okay, if you require, a doctor has suggested you have these chronic conditions and you require a supplement for it. The easiest way for a person is to get a supplement from the pharmacy. That is suggested when you have a deficiency. When you have a gross deficiency, then you require to boost it up. But generally, we used to say for a healthy nutrition or a healthy heart or a healthy metabolism, you need to have all vitamins and minerals and enzymes from the natural sources. Everything I already mentioned, everything what we eat has all vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. But specific things have specific amount. So that's what I mentioned about that. So during regular practice, we should prefer the natural resources. If you have a gross deficiency, your doctor, your treating physician will be suggesting for a supplement. Don't go for an OTC to supplement yourself.
Okay, point well taken, Dr. Wilkhoo. Point well taken. Simply put, if it is a pill, refer to the doctor. Right. Otherwise, the foods contained in a balanced and abundant diet will probably take care of your needs. But if your doctor sees it necessary to prescribe vitamins and minerals, your physician will do so. Very well. I can quite see the wisdom of that question. Dr. Wilkhoo, you've spoken about homeopathy, of course, and there are a few questions on that aspect. In naturopathic medicine, when it comes to weight loss, there is a suggestion about what they refer to as a maintenance diet. And this maintenance diet, or not a maintenance diet, rather maintenance fasting, is where you advise the individual to stay off food for a day in the week for the year. And during that period, you would advise them to have sufficient fluid, or perhaps fruit juice, or perhaps soup, anything in the form of fluid at every meal. So your fluid content would be contained, and form of nutrients would also be there. but the calorie amount would be greatly reduced by virtue of the fact that you're not ingesting any food. And you would have thereby a reduction of about 2,500 odd calories, if that is the amount that you eat on a daily basis. So, as a physician, uh, for our individuals who are overweight or obese, would you agree or recommend or suggest that if their medical condition permits, they could look at fasting 1 day a week and supplementing it with soup or water or milk, as the case may be?
Yes, sir. This is very good approach, because it's not only whether you have existing chronic conditions or you are on medications or whatsoever. If you are obese, you should be having a consent. Definitely, you should talk to your physician first, because it depends on medication what you are using. If you are not on that type of medication, you must do at least 1 day fasting in a week. This will give you three benefits. I will simply suggest. I already said this is basically for people those who are obese. Not very much recommended for overweight, but they can do. One aspect is having fasting for 1 day in a week, only using the fluid, not a fruit juice. You can have soup, you can have water, you can have green tea. So these type of juice means fluid you can have to keep yourself hydrated, because during metabolism, water is required. Water is required to run your metabolism in a smooth way. Now, the energy, the calorie, what we are talking about, we are not eating anything, you are fasting, but you still have stored fat, which already I mentioned. If you're not using it, it is being stored as a fat for the future use. This is the future use. When there is a crisis, you are creating a crisis to your body that you are not giving any calorie. Your system requires 1,200 calories. From where it will get if you are not eating? That will start reconciling the stored fat into calorie energy and use it. The first part of this is the toxic material which is lodged into the fat is plus then the fat which is stored is converted back and used as an energy. So this is very good. Third aspect for this fasting, this gives you reset for entire digestive system, which is connected to your metabolism very closely, because whatever you eat goes to your digestive system, taken care by the digestive system to digest it, to convert it into glucose and shift to the metabolism to use it. So this is a reset button. You remember every when after a month or so we used to delete galleries from the for WhatsApp because it gives the extra load. We used to run antivirus in the system. So this is a type of reset button. The fasting once in a week is very good for everyone, not only for overweight and obese people, for normal person also. This gives the opportunity of reset of your digestive system, and this increases the sensitivity of insulin. The sensitivity will become more high, and what when you eat, it will be immediately consumed off.
Thank you, Dr. Wilkhoo. So you recommend the maintenance fast of 1 day a week. That's excellent. Doc, you had put up a slide over there on constitution and metabolic medication or homeopathic remedies. Now, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Homeopathic medicine has some very ardent, passionate followers who see homeopathy as a gentle yet extremely efficient way of managing illness. So, may I ask, sir, what really is the difference between homeopathic medicines or homeopathic remedies versus allopathic medicines or remedies? Is there a difference? Why is homeopathy so popular?
Sir, it's a good question. Generally, when we talk about the conventional medicine, these medicines are synthetic in nature. Similar things which are naturally present in the food is good enough, because what we eat in a natural product is an alkaloid format. And but when we are using a conventional medicine, these are the synthetic format of the alkaloids. That is number one. Number two, when we are talking, even you remember I mentioned about home remedies, where people used to follow home remedies, eating garlic, eating cucumber seeds, eating cinnamon. So yeah, drinking lemon water, hot water with lemon and honey. So these basically are having active ingredients. Like talk about garlic. Garlic has an active ingredient, garlic, which has multiple properties. It's a fat burner. It reduces the triglyceride in the lipid. It increases the HDL level. Now, when triglyceride is reduced, when HDL is increased, the LDL is automatically balanced out. So this is the way garlic works, and it thinns the blood. When we talk about obesity, when we talk about cardiometabolic syndrome, the in the corner of the mind, we always think about reducing the stress on the blood flow. When you have more fat in your body, fat is deposited. I may take a second for going apart from this. Fat is deposited in two areas. One is outside the blood, which makes you overweight or obese, the case may be. One is inside the blood, which makes the blood thick, what we used to call cholesterol. So when we are using garlic, the garlic thins the blood by reducing the triglyceride, by increasing the HDL. HDL has an anti-inflammatory factor, and it reduces the stress on the vessel wall. Similarly, when we talk about homeopathy medicine, when we are talking about this metabolic medicine like fucus west, phytolacca, these are the two common medicines which works like fat burners, reducing your hunger, increasing the hormones, increasing the enzymes. These are natural products. And if you Google out, if you go look for any homeopathic medicine, the phytolacca berry will be the popular medicine used globally. Not only, I'm not saying that you take a pill, you will reduce the weight. It's not that. These medicines will help you to reduce weight. You are doing your effort, this medicine will multiply the benefit of that effort. Fat burners in conventional medicine also are doing the same thing. It doesn't say you take medicine, you will lose the weight. It doesn't say that. It will help you, but it has side effects also. The holistic medicine, whether it is homeopathy, whether it is Ayurvedic, whether it is Unani, whatever medicine, they have very less or no side effects. That's what we prefer for that.
Okay. So in one of the slides, you had mentioned that there is medication which helps to burn fat, suppress hunger, etc., etc. Now you mentioned that allopathic medicine sometimes has a side effect which may be undesirable. Are you suggesting then that for weight loss, there are homeopathic remedies that can be helpful?
Yes, sir. That's what I mentioned. Metabolic, like fat burners, if I'm talking about conventional medicine, then we are talking about fucus pest in homeopathy, phytolacca berry in homeopathy, then thyroidinum in homeopathy. These are the which improves the metabolism, which improves the hormonal secretion, which improves the fat burning, which reduces the storage of the fat.
And thank you so much, Dr. Wilkhoo. You did you did a lot about home remedies. Just in one of your answers, as a matter of fact, just a few seconds back, when you spoke about the profound benefits of garlic and lemon water, etc. These are day-to-day products that put weight loss in the control of the person who needs to lose weight. And therefore, of course, these are excellent to put the power of losing weight back in the hand of the client who needs to lose weight through home remedies. That is excellent. You know, one of our audience has mentioned that he was unable to listen in on the early part of the talk and was wondering whether he could get a recording of this. For the information of our audience, specifically the client who did mention that he missed the first part, all our webinars in the RAC Biggest Weight Losers Challenge are uploaded within 24 hours. And you will be able to view whatever has been said on our site. And not only that, you will also be able to archive and view all the webinars that we had last year. There were, I would say, about 12 of them, and you'd be able to see all of that over there also. Dr. Wilkhoo, you have frequently mentioned that you were short on time, and now with deep regret, I have to mention that we are also short on time. So I will quickly thank you for your presentation, your excellent presentation, which gave us so much information, especially about the micronutrient aspect of nutrition, the homeopathic remedies. These were excellent. You spoke about the philosophy of weight loss from a holistic perspective. That is so welcome. It puts control in the hand of the individual who wants to lose weight and allows him the freedom to do the things that is easy for him to do and not to have to wait to connect with a doctor. I want to thank you so much for the time you have given us, Dr. Wilkhoo. Thank you so much. I'd like to also thank our support staff that is managing the back end of this program, the computer system, the Wi-Fi structure, and so on and so forth. So thank you to IT services and Saloni in particular, who is sitting over here, and also Piyush, who is supporting us. Thank you so much. And thank you most of all, dear friends, to our audience. Now, we have about 10,000 active participants, and we have about a small percentage of that listens into our webinars. We are grateful for that. And many of them take the liberty of accessing our website during the course of the week to get more information. Now, our next webinar is on the 3rd of March. That is next week. We have our next webinar, and we will be having a knowledgeable young intellectual speaking on the psychological aspects of weight loss. Now, this is such an important addition. If you were to look at the WHO presentation on the holistic aspect of weight loss, it talks about the physical, the mental, the social, and the spiritual aspects. So the mental aspect will be taken care of by Dr. Zoiba, by Ms. Zoiba Amin, who is a psychologist with the RAC Hospital, and she will be talking on how your mental attitude and the benefits of the psychological support and counseling can help in weight loss. With that, friends, good day. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much for being part of this important campaign.